Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and today we are gaming on the big screen because we're checking out this new 4K projector which I've been using for the last week on the PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X. And this thing is ridiculous. So it's called the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max and it's a 4K projector that supports Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDMI 2.1, VRR and has a 1 millisecond response time. So it's perfect for both movies and gaming. It's also got Keystone built in as well as lens shift and can go up to 300 inches. Anyway, I have dropped a link to this down below if you want to check it out, but let me know what game you would play on this first. Okay, let's get this opened up. So inside the box it comes with this polystyrene hard shell looking carry case, and if we open this up we of course have the projector itself and a small box of accessories. This includes the manual and setup instructions, a power brick and a plug, as well as a remote control for the projector along with a couple of batteries. Now the first thing I've got to say about this is how clean it looks. I've seen some projectors before and they aren't pretty, but you know what, this one looks alright. It's also a totally different colour to anything else that I've owned or that I've seen before, and it almost has this flat grey bronzy finish to it. And then if you look really closely, it's actually got a leatherette texture to the entire case, which is cool. Across the front, we've got this nice glossy panel that contains the IMAX Enhanced logo. The sensors are next to that, and then we've got the lens itself. So this is the X Master Red Ring lens, which is rated at 5,700 lumens, which is stupidly bright, which I will show you later. Then there's a patterned metal finish grille on the front with the Harman Kardon logo in the bottom right corner. And this is where the speakers are located behind the grille. And it's got a really nice stand on this, so unlike other projectors where they are fixed into place, this one has a stand built in for tilting it up and down, and it even has a swivel base as well. So you can have it flat on your table or your shelf and angle it exactly where you need it without needing to move your tripod. And then around the back we have the various ports including an optical out, 2 USBs, 2 HDMI ports, one of which is an HDMI 2.1 and supports eARC, a 3.5mm jack and a power button. Now when it comes to setting it up, this has got to be the easiest and quickest setups I've ever done. Once I'd attached it to my tripod using the screw hole at the bottom and positioned it behind my sofa, I just powered it on and went through the setup screens. The whole process from start to finish literally took a few minutes, including signing in and downloading any apps that I wanted to use. Oh, and as this does have Google TV built in, we get pretty much every app as well, but I will show you more on the UI and the apps a little bit later. Then we have the lens shift and the auto keystone features. So what this does is it shines a super bright white image on your wall. Then it uses the sensor on the front of the projector to automatically shift and adjust the picture so it fits your space. But you could manually override this and tweak it yourself too. So you could adjust the vertical and horizontal positioning as well as the zoom. Perfect for that one-click setup though, where you don't really need to be messing around. Now I know it's a full resolution 4K image, but I genuinely wasn't expecting it to be quite as bright or as colourful as this. Obviously I am coming from an OLED TV, so it's not really a fair comparison, especially for contrast. But with the right lighting and conditions, I can see this being a whole different experience. Now when I was actually choosing the screen, I wasn't sure whether to go for a 100-inch or 120-inch screen, but comparing it to my 77-inch TV, this looks massive. But you could have this set anywhere between 80 and 300 inches depending on how far you place it from your wall. I also love the fact that straight out of the box with practically no adjustments or messing around with the settings, this is how good it looks. We've got SDR images that are already good with plenty of contrast and decent colours. But we've also got that HDR10+ and Dolby Vision, so anything with HDR support is going to look even better with loads more contrast and give the image that little bit of pop. But I've got to say it's the brightness for me though, at 5,700 lumens it is bright. I'm not really sure if you can see this, but I've actually had to lower the brightness slightly as it was too bright for the camera to pick up. Now let me just show you how bright this can get. So this is during the day with all the blinds and the curtains open, almost the worst lighting that I could ask for, and you can still see what's on the screen. But of course, as soon as I start to close the curtains or cut the lighting in the room, you can see the image quality just pops. It's actually really hard to capture this, but when the room is dark and the image is bright, it is blindingly bright. Now this is an RGB triple laser DLP projector, and although for the most part I have been using it at night or in low lighting in the room, you really could use this during the day. Now of course you're going to lose some contrast and brightness unless you have a decent screen like an ALR screen, but unfortunately the one that I'm using is pure white, so it's not really the best screen to be using during the day. And guys, when it comes to gaming, this has just blown me away. Now it obviously supports 4K as I mentioned, but it also supports up to 240Hz depending on the input and the resolution that you're using. So that means if you're gaming at 4K, you will get 60Hz. But if I drop it down to 1080p, it will get between 120 and 240Hz. That is gaming monitor territory right there. Now it definitely helps that the Horizon 20 Max does have a 1 millisecond response time, so when you're playing there's no input lag or noticeable input lag at all. And it also supports VRR and ALLM. This means it could literally be as good if not better than a TV or monitor depending on what you're currently using. Now after watching a couple of World Cup matches this week, it actually gave me the itch to play some FC26, and this was such an experience playing it on the big screen. I would love to say that I gave my son a chance and let him win, but he legit ran circles around me in every game that we played. So now it means I'm going to have to get some more practice in before I play him again. But the quality on this screen though, the brightness, colours, even the motion is damn impressive. But after that I switched over to a few different games like 007 First Light. Now I actually recently got the platinum for this game on the PS5 Pro, and again it looks unreal. The opening scene in the game where Bond is walking across the beach and the waves are crashing. I absolutely love how the colours and the contrast look in this scene. And then we've got driving and racing games, which are always good for showing off the motion handling, and this is where you can see how well the screen keeps up with the game. I thought that Forza Horizon 6 looks insanely good, and if you're not playing this one yet, I would highly recommend giving it a go. I did however notice some rainbow effect when panning around or looking away from the screen, which you may or may not have noticed so far during this video, but I can tell you it is nowhere near as noticeable in real life. It is definitely there, but it's pretty minor to my own eyes. There are also a few game picture modes you can select to between FPS, RPG, RTS and sports. These will adjust a few different settings like the latency, motion, contrast, HDR and shadow detail in different genres. Now I'm not sure if I would want to use a projector for FPS games though. I mean sure, I could technically use it for things like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and it would be fine considering the response time is rapid. But I don't know, it might be too big for competitive gaming. I think I would probably stick to my monitor for those games. And you cannot have a screen like this without using it for movies, right? We're talking popcorn, lights off and movie nights. Now with the new Toy Story movie coming out this week, we actually ended up watching number 4 and it looked incredible. I can tell you now, it is a proper cinema experience when you've got a projector. We're also getting a BT 2020 colour gamut, a 20,000:1 contrast ratio, Dolby Vision, Dolby Audio, Filmmaker mode, DCI-P3, to be honest it pretty much does it all. And then flicking through a few different movies that I watched this week, it made me realise I really need to go bigger with my TVs. Like, I am happy with my 77-inch OLED, but I think my wall and my room is crying out for a bigger TV. And then considering it's the World Cup right now, I decided to watch a couple of games on the big screen, and again it did pretty well. Now as I'm in the UK, it did mean that every match that I watched was aired in the late evenings, but at least it meant the room was already dark by the time the matches started. XGIMI also sent me out this EA Sports FC26 kit to go with it, and this included a football shirt, hat, socks and even a pint glass for the game. Pretty cool idea, and I know they are doing free gifts right now on their site too, including a free copy of FC26 when you buy one of their projectors. Now I actually got my family involved with this one for the night as England were playing, and you can't beat watching a match like this on the big screen, and it's pretty awesome to see that we won it as well. As for the menus, where this comes with Google TV built-ins, you can pretty much get anything on here that you would normally get on your phone or your consoles. Things like YouTube, Netflix, Disney+, Prime and Apple TV. And the great thing is you don't need to plug anything else in, as you can run all of your streaming apps straight from the projector. It's quick, it's snappy, and I love the summary area of all of the movies and TV shows. There's also the settings menu and the advanced settings that you can tweak things like the white point, color temps, gamma, color space and so on. And it's got a 128GB of internal storage for your games and your apps. Oh, and everything can be controlled via this metal remote control. It's got quite a nice minimalistic style with only a handful of buttons, but to be honest, that's pretty much all you need. It's got quick buttons for YouTube, Netflix and Prime, a focus button, live TV, input switching and a nice navigation button in the middle. The volume buttons are at the bottom below the back, settings and home buttons. And then as mentioned earlier, this does have speakers built in. Now I have been using my own speaker setup while using this, but this does have two 12-watt Harman Kardon speakers built in. And you know what, for something this small and compact, they are surprisingly good. Perfect if you don't have another speaker setup to use in your room, as you've got both the picture and sound all in one. And just going back to the autofocus, auto keystone and lens tilt that I touched on at the beginning, this really is a game changer feature for this projector. Being able to place it off center, higher or lower, or even with objects in the way of the screen, and then it automatically readjusts and gives you the perfect image size and quality is such a great feature. I tested this so many times and each time it worked absolutely perfectly. There's also an eye protection mode where if it detects somebody walking in front of the projector, the screen will go off so you're not blinded when you accidentally look back. However, you can turn this setting off if you want to. Now, you might be wondering how much this projector costs. Well, I will start by saying it is not cheap. It is their most expensive projector yet, but it does literally everything, including 4K, Dolby Vision, up to 300 inches, 5700 lumens, has lens tilt, a 1 millisecond response time. I mean, the list is endless. But it does cost £2,599 or $2,699. That is 65-inch OLED TV money. But that's kind of the point. You can get this massive screen in your room, anywhere in your room, for the same price as a 65-inch TV. Pair this with a decent screen, maybe get something better than what I have, and this is a seriously powerful projector setup for movies, gaming, at night, during the day. I absolutely love it. But what do you guys think? Do you think you would game on a projector like this? Now drop a nice gaming projector in the comments and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out this video next. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow me everywhere. Until next time.